Hello, let's play a bunch of daily word games. The series is weekly, but the games are daily, usually. Today's bonus game is a Warmle game I haven't played in a while. So the way Warmle works, and you'd be familiar with it because Fusele sometimes has a twist that's the same as Warmle, but per slot, we are told whether that letter is nearby, within three of the guessed letter. So the gray means it's not within three. So it starts us off with random letters. It's not a real word. But from now on, we have to guess real words. And there are 3 rounds. And each round reduces the range that it tells you about. So it gets very hard. So I like to target the STU range. So I think sus is still available. So I'm going to guess sus and go from there. All right, this is near S. So we start with P, Q, R, T, U, or V. It's not going to be a Q because there's no U next to it. Why don't we pick an extreme? If we pick an extreme like P or V, then that helps us narrow down which half of that is. Then from here, we want to kind of pick... the vowels are never close enough to each other, which is unfortunate. But let's just do a PE if we can. Kind of a central thing. Or I could do PL. Actually, PL might be best. PL, and then... Why don't I go for plaza? That's fun. Not the greatest guess. All right, so we know it starts with T, U, or V then. So let's just pick one of the... let's just pick the T then. TE maybe? Can I do 10th? No. Tenor? No. Okay. TA? I don't like doing the A, B, C. I mean, I shouldn't have done that Z for plaza. I just thought it was fun. TH? No, we don't want to do an extreme. If I could do TE, that would be best. I just couldn't think of one. 10. You know what? I'm going to do tango against my better judgment here. All right, so we're not a T. We start with U or V. This is an N, and this is near O. We end in L, M, or N. So starting with U or V, venue doesn't work. What if we started with U? Like, what would we do here? Up. I think it would have to be up. I don't like that at all. So V, then we need a vowel, so it has to be E. So ven is forced. Ooh, can I do vinyl? No. Venom. There we go. All right. Venom was our first game. We'll move on to the Super Warmle. So this, it's only telling us about 2 away rather than 3 away. So we start with an F, G, I, or J. I want to pick the F to see what side we're on. Yeah, let's do F. And then this needs to be a K, L, N, or O. So what if I did like F, R, O? F, L, O would be better. Can I end an E? Is there a way to end an E? What if I do flown? That's kind of fun. All right, there's an O in the middle. This is a U, V, X, or Y. I like OU. We start with a G. That's guaranteed. Grout. Ooh. Grove. Nice. Got it in 4. All right, Super Warmle Plus. Ooh, that's lucky. These are within 1. So this is an R or a T, and this is an M or an O. RMY? Is there a good word that does that? Wormy? All right, the R is correct. The N is not, so that's an O. What do we want to do here? Maybe an S, because S is near the R and the T, very common letters. The problem is, I don't think this is a word already. Can we do... We know this is an O. We know this is an R. So if we wanted to just pick good letters here, we could. But like do a filler. How about STR? Straw. I'm not seeing a word. I'm going to guess strut as a kind of a filler. Sure. All right. Well, that didn't help at all. Let's see. Maybe try a vowel here. Heron. That works. Oh, hey, look at that. I didn't think I was going to win the Super Bowl Plus. It's very hard to win this one. Cool. Well, I got a 4. That's very nice. That was probably extremely lucky. All right. Let's move on to Dordle. We'll start with Heron. All right. I could pick either one of these to guess. Let's just make sure if we're an ER word, we should know. So something like AER would be great. Later. Get good letters. It is an ER word. So we're going to guess the right word, but we're going to be careful about trying to get good letters that work for the ER word. W and V and P and letters like that. So how would I do that? SHO, showy. Okay. There is an S on the left. Okay, we're going to keep guessing the right word. Could be an OU. Oh, if it was OU, we'd end in H, and that's no good. What if we end in H with CH? Ooh. How does this work? The H goes either here or here. Is there a CH? Oh. The only thing I think of is like mooch. Oh, okay. Maybe it's hooch or something, but pooch. There's a few options. So miser, maybe? Okay. Why did I try miser? For some reason I was thinking I need to check pooch or hooch. No. We knew it wasn't miser. Okay, well, what is the left word? What is it? Riser. And then the right word is probably pooch. Okay, good. All right, I got a little lucky there. I made a horrible mistake with miser. I don't know why I guessed miser. I was like pooch or hooch. Miser checks for that. Does it? All right, let's move on to Fibble. So there's one lie in each guess. So I like to use the positive info here. Let's just check for an LL. You know what? Maybe an LY actually. Can we? Is there a word that does this? Pigly, Digly, Hitly. No. Surely there's something that's doing this. Dipley, Whipley, Ripley. Dimly. All right, so we got our X-wing here. So these have to be true because one of these is lying and one of these is lying. So one option is these two are lying, in which case we have the L and the Y somewhere else. I don't think that works. So I think what's happened here is we just have an I second and nothing else. So what should we guess here? Maybe a double I, like visit. Okay, we know this is the lie, so the rest of this is true, which means there's a V somewhere. So IV, maybe like a not liver but river. I think we're an IVER still. Giver. It was giver. Nice. Not a bad Fibble today, especially because it's an ER word. All right, let's do Betweenle. We will start with giver. All right, we are 19% away from the end, 47% away from giver. So pretty close to the end there. I think we're past T then. Let's try a V word, like visor. Ooh, okay. No, we might be in T then. Timer. I don't know, I'm doing eyes. All right. We might be in S then. I've lost my instinct for how far away 19% from the end is. Let's do sunny, like a late S. All right, I think we are in S. We need to do something like SO. Sound. Okay, S. Is it going to be ST or like maybe SP? Like spike. Getting there. Closer to SP. Spend. Okay, between spend and... Oh, spent. There we go. Very, very close to spend. So it had to be spent. Okay, cool. Got it in 8. I don't know if I made the best choices there. I need to remember 19% away from the end is actually in the S's. I thought it was going to be U or higher. All right, we'll do word 500. We'll start with spent. Not a bad start. 1 yellow. We assume it's the vowel until proven otherwise. So let's end in E. Maybe like a row. No, we can't do rouse or route. Oh, darn. Glare. Holy moly, 5 yellow? No. They're all yellow. What is the anagram of glare? An ER word maybe? Logger? Wow. Holy moly. Okay. Well, that's quite the too bad spent had a yellow. I'd love to see all red, all yellow, all green in word 500. Well, that was a wonderful solve. All right. Let's do polygonal. So this repeats, this repeats. So if we did ing, then we get this I here, and this needs to repeat. So like a T or an S or something. Tinting. See, the problem is filling 2 letters here. What about an S? L? Liftling? Listling? I'm sure there is something that does this. Ding ding. We can't do ding ding. That would repeat the N and the G. Disting. Listling. I want this to be like ST there. Nope. There probably is something. We're just gonna do a filler today though. Let's do robustly to start. ST and L. ING is still on the table, but we'd have to use ST and L. And so we're either listling or this could be a T. No, okay. It's not an ING. So what is it? Let's just do machined to get the rest of the letters. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. So we're missing some letters still. Because we have an 8-letter word, 2 repeats, so we need 6 unique letters. E and A. Could the E repeat then? And the A goes somewhere in the middle. End in ST. Lee. Darn, this is tough even with a lot of the letters. Teal, Tess. I don't know. ST. A here, E here. Stelstar. No. What if this was an L and this was an A, not an S? Can't be an S. What if it was like an A? L. What if it's a plural? Okay, I gotta do a filler or something. Something that gets more letters. Stampers. Okay, it is a plural. This is A. This is a repeated E. This is an S. I'm thinking TS then. We didn't find the other letter. Leaflets. Okay. Ooh, tough one. Leaflets. How many options were there? 28 ordinary words. Leaflets was probably all that was left after robustly machined, though. Let's do the mini. Stoop. Not double O. P. Pleat. That's EA. No, we can't end in P. Preet. Maybe it's not double E. Is it like a double T? Double TY? Like petty? Oh, pity is not spelled that way. Patty. No, putty. Wow, that's trappy. Okay. Alrighty. Let's move on to Symble. For Symble, we always start with blaze. Might be an L second. Let's test that with sling. All right, not an L second. So we start with I-N or G, probably followed with an A or an E. So something like N-A or G-A. New letters. N-E. Isn't gecko spelled something? I don't think that's how gecko is spelled. C-K-O. There we go. Gecko. All right, it does have E second, so it's probably N-E then. Still need a bunch of new letters. Nerdy. Oh, N-E something D-Y. What else does that? Netty? What does that? Needy. Double E. Double E. I was like, what could we possibly put there? All right. Cool. Needy in 5. Almost got it in 4. Nerdy, very close. All right. I think gecko worked out well. Cool. Final game is the blind fusel. We start with Fibble style. We're going to get a lie. We will start with needy. All right. I wonder what our lie is. Let's try an EE word here. We have to repeat a letter anyway. So maybe S-T-E-E, like steep. Steeping your tea. Okay, there is no E. So the lie is that should have been gray. And this is all gray as well. So we need all new letters. We're going to get symbol-like clues here. So instead of yellows, we'll get blues, which represent how Symble does yellows. I kind of want to do like a maybe an R or an L second. Can I get these common letters maybe? Alarm repeats the A. I don't know if I like that. I want to do like a CL or CR. Claim. Sure. Ooh, okay. So this is AI, and that blue means that there's a C or an L there. Probably an L then. Something like flail? No, there's no L second. Frail? Not frail. So here we didn't get yellows. So it could technically start with R, have an F there, but I'm thinking not. Here we're going to get Warmle-like clues. We just played that today. Email, no. Can't put an L here, can't put an R here, so what the heck goes here? H, W, C. What the heck's going on here? Oh, quail? Wow, QU. Okay. All right, not bad today, especially since I'm sick. Hope you enjoyed the games. And if you enjoyed them, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.